Da, 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 da. Why is that not working? Why is that not working? Hey, Pingu, how's it going, dude? One set the well. Yeah. Mate, I'm telling you, just you wait until the base Fallout 4 stream starts. I'm excited for that one. Hope you're doing good, though, dude. I'm sort of using Twitch as being Twitch. You missed. Well, I think you were there, but you missed something really funny. Hello, hello. How's it going, Lyndon? How the devil are you? You're good, dude. I love that stuff. Hmm. I have. I have tried it, actually. I'll have you know. I did try it, and I did like it. I went on it long there, bear mind, because I had to jump off and do something. But I was trying it. I need to try it and see if it'll work easily on stream as well. It should do. It should be quite straightforward. I can't remember, to be honest with you. I was just clicking all sorts. I didn't read anything into it. It was quite late. We're just sorting some stuff out. Bear with me 2 seconds. So I've changed quite a few settings on my OBS, and it would appear I've broken a few things. I know Jack enjoys. For now, you're waiting until Tom rocks up. Right, okay. I'm very lonely. I'm always lonely. Doodle. Because I know you enjoy watching me die and fail. Plus, we're on a funny number. I don't really want to lose that number. Right. So, I'm always missing your abuse. Yeah, see, I'll be sad when this goes. I'll be really sad when this goes. I need to remember what lost quest did for the main quest. Oh, 100%, I'd drown. I am not a sore person. I would probably end up drowning. Right. So, quest line. Is it Into the Shadows? Yes, it is. That is the main quest. Okay. How's everyone's day been? And how's everyone's start of the week been? Hopefully it's all been good. Stressful, but okay. Hopefully not too stressful. I'll always listen to you, Doodle. Always. You can always rely on me to rant to you, mate. No, not unfortunate at all. If you need a rant, mate, I'm all here for you. Oof. Went all in on one. They're the worst meetings. They are the worst meetings. I don't like those sort of meetings. Fortunately, I've not had many of those today, but sometimes I do, and I know exactly how you feel. In fact, I had one last week. It could have been an email. Oh, you've been playing Schedule 1 as well? The new update's dropped now, hasn't it, for that? If I remember correctly. I much prefer emails to meetings, I'm not going to lie. Is it any good, that new update? I'll be honest with you, I can't get into it as much as I was hoping to. Well, the whole concept's amazing, but it's just, I don't know, it's quite lengthy. Waxy Riponics Industries. You know what? I actually like that. You son of a bitch. I'm in. I'll get it re-downloaded. Oh, Doodle, you'd be happy to know as well, but I did try out Darktide. Yeah, I know. I mean, I have Schedule 1, and I played it. It was just, I don't know, it was just something about it. Like, I completed it very quickly. Absolutely. I mean, I've got a schedule in mind now. So I'm thinking Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I'll be streaming. And a day on the weekend, I'll be streaming as well during the daytime for 3-4 hours. That's the current plan, anyway. So, you know, we could probably span it across doing Fallout for 2 of those days. And then another game on the Thursday, and then another. Sorry. So we could probably do Fallout on the Saturday or Sunday, because that'd be the longest stream of the week. Probably on a Tuesday as well. Then that gives Wednesday and Thursday space for something else. I enjoyed it. Didn't understand what was going on. And like I said to Lyndon, I don't know who I chose. I kind of just winged it. I did. I did actually watch that, Lyndon, but I fell asleep watching it on my desk. I was very tired. So I need to rewatch it, actually. You know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that tonight, 100%. And I will message you the second I've watched it. I'm busy, Onyx. What can I say? I think I was just a vet because I had a gun. Like I said, I could not tell you anything about it because I played it for about a grand total of like 10 minutes. Oh, Sleepy Onyx. Not Sleepy Bonix, not Bonix, just Onyx. What was it? What makes that the best class? What makes it so good? I want to know why Buckingham Palace is so electrified. It always baffles me. Zealot is just murder. You had me at murder.
I do
Murder hobo.
Proud of me.
Yeah, see that you've sold me. Murder hobo. I'm in. Why does that monitor keep turning off? When you say best drip, I'm presuming you do mean clothing. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what you mean. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I will do. I'll absolutely let you know. I mean, you got at me, so I will 100% let you know. Just give me uno second. Just need to send. Oh, my monitor's gone off again. Yes, I will do. I 100% will do. Because there is quite a lot. Maybe. Let's just hear how the game feels first properly. Once I've learned a bit more. I'd hate it if you spending more money on me. Hello, Mrs. Boulder Hat.
One moment, please. One second.
Yes.
And done. Oh, it's you. I'm afraid I can't let you in without a bowler hat. It's policy.
Seriously?
Go right in. I'll buzz you through.
You will get Nuka World. Don't you worry.
I I live in fear knowing you people can reproduce.
Is one DLC I never actually played, so it'll be a whole new experience for me. That's not the stairs. That's not the stairs. What the fuck's the stairs? Well, that's down. I need up. Oh, I'm an idiot.
Life at the top is immensely satisfying.
I bet it is. Up again. And here. Of course.
Ahoy, hoy, wayfarer.
Oi, oi.
Our meeting will have to take place over the telephone, I'm afraid. Scheduled
This
properly.
is probably mid-game now.
So, I'd like to thank you for your assistance.
We've got 2 more acts, I think, before we finish the main quest line.
It was no accident.
But I also don't think I'm going to do all these side quests on this on stream. I want to do the main,
Went according
and then I
to
can
plan.
dive into the base, well,
At any rate,
modded
congratulations.
/ vanilla Fallout 4.
You've certainly taken advantage of all this troubled city has to offer. Your diligence is almost impressive. Nobody's ever managed to discover as much about Angel in so little time. But I can't help but feel animosity between us. So, in the spirit of goodwill and discovery,
I'm not going to work.
I'm willing to offer you a deal.
It should work.
Cooperate with my organization, and I'll give you my most valuable resource. Information.
Why has that not worked? Jafag? I don't know. Why hasn't that done that? It didn't even register. Oh, no, yeah, it did. Da, da. You can have those points back. It should work. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Pingu, for the £10 donation. I appreciate you, mate. And there you go, Lyndon. There is your text to speech with very wise and wisdom words. Dog, hold my junk.
Because information is power. And I know who you are. Who you really are.
Pingu just loves to waste all the points.
Go on.
Not yet, no. We need more quotes in there. So don't forget, any stupid shit I say, quotes add.
Angel believes in whatever I want it to. I am Angel. And what I believe is on a need-to-know basis.
But why, Pingu? Why? I bet you have all the points you can gamble.
I have bold plans for this city, and I want someone equally bold to enact them. I could get into specifics, but I won't.
Also, Keyboard Cat is really good. Keyboard Cat is top notch.
That's something we can discuss at a later date.
I have no more questions. How about Pingu? Hear me out. How about I make you a channel point? A good look waste redeem. Would you use that one?
Cooperation with Angel can be summed up in an utterance. Do as you are told. Follow that simple rule and you'll get everything you've ever wanted. Considering you have no bargaining power,
It will do absolutely nothing. But I was just about to say, I bet you Lyndon will try and counteract that.
so wealth is your ambition? Typical. But I'll try not to judge. I can guarantee you'll be paid more than the gentry's subsistence wages, and certainly more than the pocket change handed out by the pros. In fact, when this is all over, I can make you a millionaire on the spot. Not that you'll need it, of course. When one achieves ultimate power, they tend to find things fall into place for them. Good. You'd be a fool not to. We'll arrange a meeting when this is all over and settle things between us. For now,
Being at your presence always blesses me in any fight I have in this game.
that is your first initiative.
I appreciate you so much. I also appreciate Lyndon for trying to screw me over.
I see one more up-and-comer peasant. I'll go.
Where do I need to go? Sulk Angel Radiation Research Laboratory.
Mad.
Into the shadows. Right. Because I reckon we've probably got around probably 5 or 6 streams left of this for the main quest. If I can find a way to have Fallout 4, another modded Fallout 4 instance running alongside this one, I'll happily start a Fallout 4 run. I mean, all the bowler hats. All the bowler hats. Quite literally. But it's fuck all compared to my helmet. Huh. I'll make sure of it, Lyndon. I'll make sure I don't die. Well, I'll try not to anyway. You good there, Churchill? You yappy thing? Oh, where does it need to go to? Go to my first initiative. Which I'm guessing is in London. What should not be in London? I've got to go all the way back again. Tends to be the case for me. Do-do-do-do. The moon. Do-do-do-do. Trying to change things on the fly probably isn't the wisest thing to do here. I enjoyed it. Granted, I didn't play long, but I did enjoy it actually quite a bit. It was definitely a good introduction into 40k. Well, the 40k theme games. I can see myself playing it a lot more. But like I said, I didn't have a proper run yet. I'll try and have a proper run in the next few days. Where's this radiation lab? Absolutely, mate. I actually look forward to it. I bet you're more excited for Nuka World, though. You're a sucker for Nuka World by the sound of things. I'm actually excited to play it. I really am. You love it that much. I mean, to be fair, I don't know how long it will take to do a full Fallout 4 playthrough with all the DLCs. Because that will probably take quite a while. Which I'm not complaining against at all. What do you mean by interesting? What's interesting about it? Oh, okay, okay. I'll see how it is.
Hey.
Hello.
What?
What?
Losing people.
Do you want? Do you want? Do you want? Wait, I cleared these guys beforehand, I think, didn't I? Well, I thought I did. Oh yeah.
You gotta reload sometime, asshole.
Get fucked. Suck on my left nut. Ain't got shit on me. I don't know why my eyes watering. Which is your favourite DLC, Doodle? In Fallout. Back off. I do want your ammo. Old World Blues. Which full is that from? I don't recognise that at all. Oh, I hate those things. Horrible looking thing. Oh, New Vegas. See, I've never completed New Vegas. I've played New Vegas, and I do enjoy New Vegas, but Fallout 4 has a very special place in my heart. It's actually been a very long time since I played New Vegas. Sweet. Your back goes swimming in the Thames. How about new? But to be fair, though, I'm probably going to die very soon. So you will get your death. Because I don't know this area. And the fact that it's a lab and it's one of the main quests means I'm probably going to die. Thanks, Linda. I like your confidence. I'm going to die. That's always welcoming. Yeah. Oh no, I am prepared this time, actually. Missed. Where'd he go? There it is. I love how I use Churchill as my bait. Back off. You're alright, Churchill.
Stop! My test subjects!
Test subjects. Well, not very good test subjects. Good old Kilroy. There's no hotel nearby here, is there?
What are you doing to my test subjects? Ah, it can talk. I thought you were some sort of animal. Are you satisfied? Did killing
Very.
my precious patients curb your bloodlust?
Yes. Yes, it did.
A bold display of wanton violence? A disregard for authority? Ah, you're Smythe's new lackey, aren't you? The Wayfarer.
Yes. What is I? I am the lackey.
So you are, and you are quite late. Don't worry, I forgive you. I have such sights to show you, and there is a lot of work to be done. Perhaps we started things off on the wrong foot. I see your value now.
Yes, I'm a lean,
Come,
mean killing
make yourself
machine.
useful. Meet me in my office.
Yeah, before I go to your office, I want to loot your office. Oh, I'm going. Well, I can't kill him now. I've chosen to side with him, I think. But the whole choosing sides thing in this mod is a bit weird. Any goodies I can take? No, no, no. I might not be able to kill him. And I'll probably try. Mariachi! What's in here? Well, that's why I came in. Yeah, don't mind me, I'm just taking your bullets. He looks like the guy from Half-Life. Yeah, don't mind me, I'm just taking all your shit. What does that do? I want to take him. I want one of those. Yeah, don't mind me, pal. I'm just looting your... Time to get addicted. To what? What do you want to get addicted to? Meth. Are we talking IRL? What is the meth equivalent in this? Yes, IRL. BRB. Body cam on. Go meet my dealer. Bear with. Booze will some kind will suffice. Well, luckily enough... Well, that's empty. That's not. That's not. What booze do I have? Fuck it. Moonshine will do. Imperial Stout. I'll get no intelligence for do this. I don't think I've got anything else. Booze. Oh, no, I've got wine there. Beer. Hey, Virid. How's it going, dude? Start singing. You can do that in Fallout 4, actually. Just not in this mod. How's it going, Virid? Hope you're doing good, dude. Good, good. Good to hear, mate. We've got scotch there. I'm addicted to alcohol. There you go, Doodle. Your request has been fulfilled. It's about to start making dinner. What are you making? What is your making? Thanks for the love, Doodle. I appreciate it. You made me an alcoholic. That was your doing, Doodle. No, it's not. It is located... well, it depends which Fallout 4.
I am Director Wesley Herbertson, and you are now in my employ. Shall we begin?
Some spin on Chinese hot pot. You know what? A hot pot does sound really good.
This is an Angel Laboratory.
I love
the
a
last
hot pot.
bastions of technological progress in London.
You got any meats going in there, Virid?
I have given you my name and title. What more could you possibly need?
Everything. What are you working on?
Short of the answer to the most daring question of the atomic age. Can a commuter be saved? Can
No,
they be brought back
they
from the
cannot.
brink of insanity? Have their
Solid
faculties
choice.
restored? Reclaim
Solid
their
choice.
humanity? Shall we get on with it then?
So yeah, I'd stick with chicken. Chicken and pork in there. Happy days. No worries, dude. Appreciate you dropping in. I hope your food is delicious.
I am not hiding here. This is my home. Or would you rather I live up there like a common swine? Smythe found me, and made me the offer I've been waiting for my whole life. A chance to experiment, free from the needless shackles of pointless ethics. Let's not earn his ire by wasting our time in such frivolities, Very well, I won't. You were sent here because you are quite capable of getting things done.
I'm very
And
capable
right
of getting
now,
things done.
That is what I need. Someone who will get things done. What do you know of the ghoul feralization process?
Old. Tunnel
Nothing
cough?
like tunnel cough.
Oh.
That is a mere respiratory illness. This is a deteriorative biological process. Feralization is the
Walking
end
Dead.
point of a ghoul's life. The moment in which they lose control of
That
their minds
will
and
never
become
be a
nothing more
thing.
than like
But I'll make it a
beasts.
thing, but I'm
I've
going to make it
dedicated
a
my life
million
towards
caps.
undoing feralization. In essence, clearing a ghoul's mind.
You don't want to see this
And
as,
now,
you know,
I'm
as a
few
crime
steps
dome. I'm
away
thinning
from
as it
finishing
is.
my revivification.
I'm getting there.
Or at least I was. Until
I don't
my
need a
last
fucking channel
patient
point
had an
for it.
Extreme reaction, which required an urgent surgical
No,
procedure.
if I was to do that,
Delivered
I'd do it
directly
as a
into
charity
the
goal,
brain.
not a
Turns
fucking
out we
community
need
goal.
DNA
That would be a
samples from
charity
fresh
goal.
commuters to finalize the serum.
Like, if I raised
So I had a
£1,000
few of my
in a few
underachieving
weeks, then I'd do it.
scientists
Absolutely.
They're currently wandering about downstairs. I sectioned off that part of the lab to be a habitat of sorts for my test subjects. I want you
Exactly.
to go down there and
Now,
collect
if
4 DNA
if I was going to do
samples
something like that,
from
you know, in
Understood?
terms of putting myself bold, I'd make sure it'd be a charity goal, not a fucking community goal.
Good. I've prepared some tools for this mission. Terminate the
So like
boards
I've
and
not
extract a sample
done it before,
with
but I
this.
weren't fully
I
bald.
won't-
My hair was all the way down here beforehand, if not a bit longer. But I chopped it all off for
wish you
charity.
good luck. Competent people don't need it. Now go.
Almost. Which way do you want me to go? Oh wait, maybe I need to unlock the door actually in that terminal. Let me in! Do you have the key? Do you have the secret? You do not have the secret. We do not have the key. That's not at all annoying. Okay, well, where do you want me to go? There's no door down here, and you've bloody locked it, so I can't get in. Oh, I can now. Come on. I'm an idiot. Hello. He doesn't know someone's going to kill me here, Lyndon. Tickets, a lab coat. I will take that, and I'll take Wonder Glue. I'll take Wonder Glue all day long. What's in here? Nothing. I mean, I like to think so. Okay, so I'm guessing that's where I need to go to. I don't think there's anything else here I can grab that's useful. I think all them are locked, so. Well, I say that, and Churchill just magically opens up a fucking door. It was a shit door because there's nothing here. Oh no, there's 5 tickets. I'll take all the tickets I can get. You know what? I'm growing to like Churchill, but he's still no dog meat. Oh, he's legendary. Ah, fuck. Oh, why take a while to reload? Get fucked. No, dog meat is something special. Dog meat is the bestest boy. Nothing can ever change my mind about dog meat. You'll find out, Lyndon, who dog meat is in my next playthrough. Which will be relatively soon. I mean, I would say dog meat's a normal name, but it's a good boy name. You hear dog meat, everyone just knows instantly what you're on about. Hello. Sorry, were you busy? You mean the dog they use to to do the motion capture? Yes, I did know that. I also know that they only passed away recently. Poor Pooch. Yeah, well, it wasn't doing anything important, Lyndon. If he was, he would be silent. Unless it was painful. Yeah, it was quite sad that when I found out about that. Because I love dog meat. Fuck yeah, this gun's great. This gun really packs a punch as well. Like, really packs a punch. Go on, Churchill. You haven't got a collar on anymore. Oh. I should probably grab some kind of hazmat suit. Yes, that's a good idea. But also probably equates to me dying. I'm probably gonna die here, Lyndon. At least once. See, ironically, my dog meat's doing something similar on my PlayStation. He literally just stood in a spot, and every now and then he'll just do a little spin. He'll like catapult somewhere, but he'd come back. But he will not leave the area I left him in. That's really quite annoying. I need to get rid of something. I want that. I don't need that. Oop. You dropped a deuce. I just love how Churchill's just immune to all radiation. No, Churchill just... Like, where's he gone now? Oh, he's there. He wants to shower, clearly. Well, to be fair, though, dog meat... not dog meat. Churchill just kind of fucks off and does what he wants. Father! Always forget about that, actually. How my... I won't spoil it, because Lyndon's never watched it. I'd never played it. He really is a free spirit. These fuckers are going to be mutated to hell, aren't they? It's going to be like it's going to be like fighting 4 bosses. I should have left. I should have just kept with the Martini Henry. Henry Martini. You're a fucker. Ow. Oh, their health don't go down. Fuck. Ow. 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 Sorry, dog. I hit my dog by accident. Fuck. Oh, Lyndon. God damn it, Lyndon. Not if I can help it. No death. Maybe a death. Maybe a death. Maybe a death. No! Go away! Fuck! Annoyingly, there's now a counter on here as well. Let's see. He can't have the best of both worlds, can he? But thank you, Lyndon. The screwing in my life. I'm gonna do all that again. Kind of my fault for not saving. Nah, you're all good. Blame Lyndon. It's all point at Lyndon. Exactly. You can't have the best of both worlds, Lyndon, unfortunately. I know you'd enjoy having best of both worlds and truly fucking with me. Oh, I did have a bowler hat. Oh. Fuck it. I'm going to use that thing. Now I'm ready. Also, how the hell is this not rad safe? Oh, wait, no. I'm on a timer still. I forgot about that. I'm going to use melee. See, I'm really happy that I have been pulling my skill points in strength. Because if not, it'll be a fucking nightmare. I'll be getting one-tapped. Yeah, well, you would do, because you hate me. That's a home run. I wish I had the slogger perk point you can get in this. That'd be quite fun. Because we're not happy to use melee all the time. Hello. Bye bye. Are you the one who was shitter? You must have been. Oh, oh, human arm. Yeah, I'll take that. Can I eat human arms? No. So I just picked up a human arm just because. Oh no, there you go. You can literally keep human arms now. I did not know you could do that for junk. It doesn't look very human to me. If that's a human arm, you might want to go see a doctor. But I don't really want a human arm. Oh, fuck. I don't want your arm either. Shut up. Needs a bit more than moisturizer. That arm needs a trip to a spa. See, where's Churchill gone now? He's literally vanished. I mean, if I had some kind of circulation in there, then maybe, yeah. I'm happy that is over. I'm very happy that's over. There was a lot of vanishing. Oh, there you go. It does vanish. I'm not carrying too much. I'm carrying just the right amount. Right leg. Maybe I shouldn't use that. Yes. I forget about that. I'm saving up one of the points as well, which is why I'm not using them. So I want to try and get the settlements sorted, because they are being a bit neglected. Alright. Let's see how useful this is in this scenario. Say hello to my little friend. No, not little friend when it's reloading. Really? 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 Oh, no, I don't know. I had that. No, clearly I don't. I think maybe we're good, Lyndon. Maybe. Oh, stupid reloads. Get fucked. Ping you with the good luck. Why won't you just fucking die? You're fine, Churchill. Get up. That'd be funny. It's fine. We made it. We survived. Jar of yellow liquid. Interesting. Might want to go see a doctor. Yeah, I don't quite know why I picked it up, actually. Where's the other specimens? You didn't even try. Missed. Missed. I'm over here, you idiot. Oh no. Oh, fuck. You run like me. I'm sorry. How are you not taking damage, my friend? You have invisible hands. The fuck? My stick is bloody. Interesting. Oh, okay. That's useful. Anywhere else? That water looks delicious. These boys look a bit unhealthy. It's okay. I'll clean up after you. So what's going to go wrong here? Because you just know something is going to go wrong. Oh, there's one there.
Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. Those
No,
are the
they
four
don't.
commuters. All over 100 years old, all waiting to be liberated. My assistant will take those samples. Now that I've seen what you can do, I believe you have an extra part to play in this experiment of mine. The most crucial part of this whole experiment.
That
With
means
the
you're ghoul.
samples you have procured, I will dose all 4 ghouls with a revivification serum.
A
That's only the first
what?
part of the process. The test subjects require human interaction in order to chemically reactivate certain
great.
parts of their brain. In other words, someone needs to be in the cage with them. And right now, that someone is you.
Sounds about right. That's pretty much what he said, Lyndon. I wouldn't even try and repeat what he said.
Wonderful. Step into the cage.
I ain't no damn dirty ape. So let's get in the cage. How do we get in the cage? Hello. Hello.
The serum has been administered. I'm releasing the first commute.
Alright, you could have at least let me bring my dog in here. Ow. Oh. I don't think that was meant to happen. Oopsie. See, part of me thought, don't punch him. Oh. I didn't quick save! Fuck! I'm an idiot! Why didn't I save? That is very stupid of me. Hello. So why are you not shooting? Sorry, Churchill. You are my sacrifice. I'm missing every single shot. Back up, Mr. Spider-Boy. Oh. Yep, this looks like it's going to end well. It's like, give me that pit boy. No, Alla boy. No, what the fuck? Yeah. Give me your skin and let me wear it. So annoyed if I didn't save, man. Excuse me. Yeah, there you go, Lyndon. You got a free... You got to witness a free murder. Why do I feel like this music is very fitting? Hello. Haha, you touched me and you died. You idiot. Herb. I need some more emotes making at some point. Straight to the noggin. Oh. Tickets, please. I'll take that technical document. Thank you. Right. Don't. I've got no AP. Fuck. I wish I had a silencer for this. Oh, fuck. Yeah, have a ball to the face. Ow. Ow. You know what? I'm getting sick of your shit. Okay, I think you're getting sick of my shit as well. This is going to kill me. Yeah. Okay, I'm being stupid now. For no reason. You're just enjoying my murders. My deaths. God damn it. Right. Gonna be a sneaky, stealthy Onyx. Come on, you play peekaboo me. Fucking hell, you're trying to rub tackle my dog. I'm just aiming and shooting aimlessly here now. Fuck off, you spooky bitch. You cockwomble. Oh, you're not even dead. Just have no legs. Oh. A shame. How? What? I have, and it's scared the shit out of me. And also is that a Raja? That was pretty creepy as well. The Wombles more confuse me. But they were a bit easy to kill though, I thought. Google it, and you shall see. Or you throw into a Womble in this. Just say it's a big white thing. Oh, I think it was white. Can't remember. Saving. I ain't doing that again. No, no. Yes, I'll do your experiment, but I'm going to kill him this time, straight off. Straight to bat.
4 commuters, all over 100 years old, all waiting to be liberated. My
Murdered.
assistant will take those samples. Now
I've
that
already
seen what
saved
you can
them.
do, I believe you
But
have
thank
a
you for the heads
part
up.
to play in this experiment of mine. The most crucial part of this whole experiment. With the samples you have procured, I will dose all 4 ghouls with a revivification. The test subjects require
Revivification.
in order to chemically reactivate certain parts. In other words, someone. You seem quite capable of handling. Wonderful.
Right. If this thing even comes near me, it's going to get shocked in the face with Mr. Spicy Stick. Think you drop in the good luck 250 so I don't get murdered this time?
Been administered. I'm releasing the first commuter.
Yeah. I know he's not nice.
Interesting. How curious.
Better?
You may have noticed that ghoul was particularly tough to deal with.
Yeah, you don't say. I'm going to wait for one of them to turn into this big mutated motherfucker.
Don't worry. Enhanced strength and endurance are a known side effect of the revivification serum, as is enhanced
Hey,
aggression.
come on, just let me
Releasing
fight
the
him.
subject now.
You fucker. You're a prick!
Similar reaction. Make a note.
What, you didn't even give me stim packs? You know, I've got to fend for myself here.
That was unexpected.
It's like me on Monday
Are
morning.
you holding up, Wayfarer?
Yes.
I genuinely do not know how this next specimen will react.
Yeah, well,
which
I
makes
do.
it all the more fascinating. We're releasing next subject now. Try engaging it in conversation.
Daytime is touching me. You're an idiot!
It's a shame.
I legit thought
Violence
that
once
might have
more.
worked.
Make a note of its delayed aggression.
Oh, making a your delayed aggression.
An unfortunate end, but we achieved some progress. Temporary, yes, but still. Do you feel it?
Do you feel it in the air tonight? I sure for shit don't.
History forming right before our very eyes? One last subject. Releasing it now. It's working. Talk to it. Don't delay.
This ghoul looks at you silently. It beckons you close with its head. You're gonna twat me, aren't you?
Did you see that? It understood you. It communicated. It's a success. No, it's more than a success. It's...
Be free, ghoul! I want to hit it, but I also want to.
It's behind you!
Of course! Fucking prick! I knew I should have killed you! You motherfucker! You stupid! Stupid! Ghoul! Oh. Let's put you to bed. Shh. Sleep well. Hello.
Thank you, Wayfarer.
You're a dickhead.
You have done a true service to science today.
Have I? Now pay me.
Kill them? No. You gave them life. For precious seconds, they became sentient and useful once more.
Did
You
they?
saved them from a legacy of chaos. With all that said, I believe your effort should be rewarded. And I know just what to give you. Tickets, of course. And these powerful grenades. They are guaranteed to get you out of any trouble. Now,
Are they
Slide will be
Linden-proof?
in contact with you shortly. So, leave. I have important business to attend, and so do you, I assume. I don't actually
I don't know, do I?
and I don't want to. All I want is to focus on my research. I can't quite do that.
Nature adores a crab. Floats a gas grenade. I was 12.
Yes. Don't come back.
Okay, I'll fucking mind you, prick. Dog, hold my junk. They're really fucking heavy. How long we got out of a shithole? Pretty much. It's just a very polite way of telling me to do one. How many cups do I have now? Nearly 2,000. Okay. Oh, I came in the wrong way. It's this door. Or not get a decon shower. No? Okay. Sweet. Ugh. Well, that was very anticlimactic. I'm probably not worth my time. What we'll do is dump off a load of shit and go do the next one. I'll never not love Fallout music. Lyndon, I still need more gifts from you as well. Easy money, that. Oh, hello.
Delivery for you, Wayfarer.
Creep. Piss off.
No can do, Gov. I'm not supposed to leave until you've signed for the package. It's against regulations. All in a day's work, Gov.
Absolutely. Can you guys read that? London Aquarium. There's no fish there. It's going to be shite. Zap gun. I have spicy pistol. What do you got? 50-50? Go on then. You're gonna die. Can you not die? Hold on, give me a sec. Got to reload my gun. You can't die. Sweet. No, stop. Dog. Stop. Stop. Dog. 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 Yes, hold all my junk. Be a good pooch. Oh, where'd he go? He vanished. I take his silly armor off now. Catalytic cow. Oh yeah, that's better. Now I feel more human. Brrr. You're still hostile towards me, but you're running away. Little bitch. Right, where is this aquarium? Oh yeah, of course, it'll be above London Eye, but I blew up. The eyesore, what is the London Eye? Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I love this song. Oh, it's been a while. Oh, I'm catching up with you, Lyndon. I'm catching up. Not really. I'm 8th. 8th. I'm not too far behind you. I'm creeping. I'm creeping. Oh, Paul and I did that. Oh.
Not.
Not. Hello, Rip. How's it going, dude? Hope you're doing good. You've joined as we're about to go kill some fish. Or Milex, for that matter. You're doing Logi? Good man. I need to come on and help out. I really do. I really don't want to play Foxhole. You've been startled. By what? Oh, fuck. Fuck you, little hatchling. Ooh. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just haven't got the itch to play it as much at the moment. I don't quite know why. You're fucked. Tier 2's tech now, hasn't it? Fucking, ow! The fuck? Where are you? Are you there? You're nearly in me. I mean, Anarchist is also around now, isn't he? You don't just need me anymore. Let me cook you! Thank you. Thank you. No, that's good. I'm currently limiting myself to 0. I don't know, it's something about it at the moment that I'm really not enjoying about Foxhole. I don't know what it is. Give me the pie. Give me the pie. God damn it! Exactly. You know, when Anarchist said it was out, I was like, oh, cool. About to work. Old me would have been like, that's it, work aside. Foxhole load up. Place my pipes. But not really. Not really feeling it. I'm just waiting for Airborne. Airborne will probably give me that a big itch to scratch. What are the chances of getting this perfectly preserved pie? It's going to be slim to none, isn't it? To be fair, there's quite a few FOLON at the moment doing scrooping. I actually feel happy not playing for a change because of it. You know, when I logged on briefly the other night, everyone was scrooping. Not only was I surprised, but I was actually quite happy. You want to play secretly, Lyndon. Oh. Oh, oh. I mean, I'm literally just waiting until airborne, I think. Then I think when that drops, I'll probably be a bit more into playing it again. But I'd rather, you know, take my time now, not play it, but then be forced to play it, and vice versa. I mean, it's not even a big fact, so I'm not concerned about it in the slightest. Just rejoin Bone, mate. We miss you. Yes. All you need to do is just rejoin Bone, and you're fine. Nah, I'm joking. I ain't gonna force you. Strike. But is it a blood feud? Is it a blood feud? I don't trust those things, so they can burn. Motherfuckers! But that someone has purposely made these look like that. It's weird. You ain't got shit on me. I can hear you, Mr. Krabs. Wait, are ya? I hate the noise on my alerts. Just weird. Weird noises like squelchy. Yeah. Wowee. Yeah, you're something I don't like. I've never liked you fuckers. You squirting fucker. Some little shaky shake thing. Oh, fuck. Get fucked. Go away, Davy Jones. That definitely hit you. Darling, please be mine. Darling, please be mine. I hate the sound of monarchs. Only you. Do they just squirt out fucking rads? That's weird.
Commencing scan. Door unlocking. Scanning complete.
Oh yeah. The other lab. Bow, bow, bow. Go on, Pooch. Oh, yes. Spicy water. Did you try? I don't remember you trying. Back off, you crabby thing. I'll take a look in a sec. Get fucked. Blew his head off. Has this gone bigger suddenly, or is it just me? I don't remember it being this big. Oh, teddy bears. Just me? Okay. What the fuck not to go then? 'Cause I'm pretty sure it said go in here. Find the source of the transmission. Is there a secret lab or something? Hello, Voltec calling. Chain door's always good. Okay, that's annoying, so I thought this would have been it. Oh, what was a ladder? Who'd thought about leaving all these tickets behind? More Phonics. Oh, also, Pingu, this isn't going to be a long stream tonight, unfortunately. He's a weird one. Oh, I thought there was one behind me as well. Because I need to work out... I want to try and work out how to get the second instance up and running. Get fucked. Buster Queens, you son of a bitch. I'm in. Any more tickets? Tickets. If this could be a radio room. No? Very ominous fucking building this. I don't like it. Why does that look like it's going to be down there? Why is there loads of rads as well? Oh, okay, that's where I was earlier. That's handy. That's not handy. This is me just going round and round in circles now. Yes, it is. Okay, so we need to find this transmission source. Any key cards up here? No. Oh, dog just appeared. Got anything in there? I reckon it's that red light underneath there. Because I'm going to have to go swimming. We keep moving. I don't like it. Hello. Goodbye. So what's in there then? Surely not. Requires a key. A key. Okay, maybe I need to come down here later on. Maybe I just spotted this. I didn't need to do it yet. So maybe where I was beforehand over there, that was the way. What the fuck? Lyndon, Q death.
Hello there. Nice to finally see a living human face.
Weird looking thing.
I can talk, I can sing, I can whistle if you'd like. My name's Reggie, or Subject 822 if you've read my files. What's your name?
Do you reckon? I reckon Reggie's enemy. He looks like he wants to fuck me up. Am I supposed to be making a choice here?
No.
Or he's gonna nut me up. Ugh. I'm the Queen of England.
Bloody well once. I've seen her pictures on the monitors.
That's what she said.
Much prettier.
Nicely timed there, Lyndon.
Yep. See that panel over there? It links up to the central computers. I was able to figure out how to get it to send out a signal to the outside world.
Well, ain't you a clever little crab?
Thank you kindly. And if that wasn't a compliment, too bad. I took it as one.
I like him. I like Reggie. I hope he don't have to kill you. You're quite cool.
I'm glad you asked. See that corpse over there?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that looks like flayed giblets. That's Professor Mina Carpenter, or what's left of her. She's the one who made me like this. After a few hundred casualties.
Interesting.
Thanks. I know. You know what they say.
I like this guy.
800
Wow, creature.
times the charm. There was a lot of trial and error. Look, I think it's about time I asked. I know we just met, but can you do me a favor?
Shock.
Ever since I watched Professor Carpenter die, I've been stuck in this tank. And it's fine. I get my food automatically, and this little robot fellow cleans up my leavings. But it's so boring. I want to go outside, swim
Reggie is
See the
friend.
world in all its
Maybe I need to free Reggie.
unlimited beauty. Will you help me?
Yes.
Really? Thank you. I'm so excited. You have no idea. Freedom at last. You can switch off the containment grid to call it Professor Carpenter's terminal. Then if you spin the valve in the maintenance room, the 10-ductile pipe will open and I'll be free. Simple, right? If there are any other test subjects lurking about, probably best just to terminate.
I already have done.
Mad bunch they are. Too aggressive to be reasoned with. Anyway, good luck.
Optional. Right, okay. It's already optional, is it? No, we like him. Reggie's friend. I like Reggie.
Ahoy hoy, wayfarer. I trust everything is under control and this is merely a courtesy call.
I know you can see. Okay, so my partner, right? She just messaged me. Apparently, having a channel point redeemed to slap myself in the face would be funny. I don't really think so. What do you guys think? Oh, Doodle. Of course you would want that one. What the fuck's this maintenance card? Fuck. One person agree that's enough. I need more than one person to warrant it. One person just to try and get me to slap myself on video online. I mean, she doesn't really count because she suggested it, so. But I just know now Lyndon's going to say, yes, I agree. Oh, I failed. Oops. She probably could do, actually, to be fair. Nah. It's fine. She knows what I mean. I'll get up. Well, if a stream suddenly cuts off, you know why. Oh, little Reggie's free. Oh. Oh. This was a bad idea. This was a very bad idea. There is no way that's going to come up here. Oh, I was very wrong. Sure, it's not going to come any higher. Surely. No death. Damn, well, I'm never going back in now. Which part's a great shout? Wow. Community goal. Nah, not really. Not really at all. Don't you touch my fucking Kit Kats. Eat my Kit Kats, we will have a problem. Exactly. See, Doodle? Doodle, she's eating my Kit Kats, Doodle. Don't bring the Kit Kats into this. The Kit Kats did nothing wrong. Oh, I don't know about that, Doodle. I don't know about that, Doodle. I do like a Kit Kat. You know what? That succulent Chinese meal one is perfect, actually. The nice one's a bit overplayed. Oh, Smile's gonna moan at me. Lyndon, what have I done to hurt you? Like, seriously. Oh. Oh, okay. This is quite a big choice to make here now. Kit Kat the Kitty Cat. That's a mouthful. Kit Kat the Kitty Cat. I don't know how I feel about that. If I answer the phone, it cuts ties with everyone. And I'm on my own. Reggie's somewhere. Reggie's somewhere. I don't know where Reggie is. Oh, I don't know. You know what? Fuck it. This is one of those times where I do a hard save.
Excellent work. The aquarium is unrecoverable, or so the pigeons tell me. Freeing that crustacean was cataclysmic disobedience of orders, don't get me wrong. But causing the lab to flood was a nice touch. Much more inconspicuous. You're beginning to show promise, Wayfarer.
Yes, I am.
But this next task will be the true test of your abilities. 2 names, 2 people I want killed. When it comes to the method of execution, the more discreet the better. I don't want you storming in like a thug. The circumstances surrounding these individuals' deaths should be somewhat of a mystery. The first name is Eve Varney, leader of the 5th column. Speak to her half-brother, Horatio Whitehouse, in the tavern beneath the 5th column headquarters. He'll put you on the right track. The second name is Arthur, leader of Camelot. Speak to Dr. James North, an angel director in Westminster. He will brief you on how to best carry out Arthur's assassination. Meet him at the pub on Victoria Street. He'll no doubt be giving one of his lectures. Do you have any queries? It will be a while before we speak again. Camelot and the 5th column are in their infancy, propped up by figureheads. Only recently have they even begun to become a step. Take these figureheads out of the equation now, and their grand... be seeing you.
Brr. I hate it when I'm being forced to make choices to kill factions off. Ah, right. I still have those 2 quests. So I've got to probably do those 2. Let's do that one quickly, I think. Do we got to say first? Let's hear for the music in a moment. All load screens.
What's going
Hello, you.
on? Is Black dead? And where the bleed neck is Nelson? We're gearing up for an all-out war here, and I haven't heard shit from either of you. A ceasefire? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Do you have any idea how much time and resources we've invested in this? And you just want to call it a day? What kind of weak-kneed, spineless, gutless, chicken shit move is that? You're done, you hear me? You're done!
Go on, let's hear him out.
What?
We
Yeah,
don't know
Anthony.
Black's terms. If they're preferable to war, then they're worth considering, ain't they?
I cannot believe I'm hearing this. Fine. Winston and Johnny are in the lounge. I want this bollocks dealt with quickly. It isn't the fucking time for placard-wielding conscientious fucking objectors.
Come on, Gaunt. Stop being a fanny. We'll probably go through this dialogue. Oh, and then call it there for the night. Not bedtime, wind down time, because I've got some stuff I need to get sorted as well. Need to defend my Kit Kats, more importantly. Oh, was he not coming in here? Oh yeah, he is. Let's look solid here. Oh yeah, that's better. There fucking best be some Kit Kats remaining. Otherwise we're gonna fall out. I look a bit like Han Solo.
More bodies getting shite done never hurt anything.
Oh, go on. Let's sit in this leather chair and go through the dialogue. Let's get comfy. Now, what I mean.
Right. Thomas Black's clearly a sitting duck without his lieutenants because he's running scared. So, he sent our tentative friend here to discuss terms of a ceasefire. Why we would want to give up when victory is in sight is clearly fucking lost on me, but we'll get to that later. First port of call, where the fuck is Nelson?
Nelson the traitor. Oh, I'm not gonna tell you
You're
that.
the last person who spoke with him, and best you can give me is, I don't know. I've been in this game long enough to know that's a lie. It's a good thing we both speak the language of criminals, Wayfarer. What you said means one of two things. Either you've killed him and you're afraid of retribution, or he's done something that means you should have killed him, but you didn't. After this ceasefire tripe, I'm gonna find out exactly what happened. And whatever it is, you're in deep shit, you traitorous bastard.
Cool.
Go on then. Black's terms. What happens to Bromley? And you believed him. There's no way he said that with a straight face. What a load of crap. He'd betray us as soon as we even look like we're about to turn our backs. These syndicate scumbags have had it coming for far too long, and it's time for them to pay the price. They think they can just tap out whenever they feel like it. They think this is some sort of fucking cordial gangbang.
Oh god, the old
Let's get
gangbang.
and show the Syndicate what we're made of.
You're gonna
It's
die.
time to put an end to this war, once and for all. Speak up now, or forever hold your peace.
A ceasefire now is better than a war. The Syndicate may have lost their lieutenants, but they still have greater numbers and firepower. Even if things kick off again, would it be so bad to let Black get complacent? We'd have more time to build our strength.
We'd be seen as weak if we agreed to a ceasefire, killing any and all momentum. The vagabonds would wither away into obscurity. There'd be no strength to build.
Gaunt's right. These bastards have it coming. A ceasefire would feel like surrender. Even with their numbers, we have an edge. We've got supply lines
Winston,
reaching
you're
deep into
equally
the
a
border.
coward.
We've got people in their own territory. We're ready for this. I can't say the same for Syndicate.
Exactly.
I can't say for certain, though. I'm willing to let the Wayfarer make their case.
Well, there we have it.
I got something to say.
Go for it, Johnny.
You know me, Gaunt. I hate the dogs more than anyone, and I always will.
We're well aware, Johnny.
But I was thinking, maybe we could keep on hating them, and just don't kill them. If it means they won't kill us, then why not? Let's keep on hating them, but in a peaceful way.
Well, hating
They
them.
can keep on hating us if they want to. Doesn't matter to me. Let's hate, not war.
You know what? He might actually be onto something there.
Oh, shut up, both of you. The Syndicate don't want peace. That's a fantasy. You've kept it to yourself long enough. What's the catch? What are Black's full terms? And there we have it. You must be joking. I'm not going anywhere.
No
The
fucking
doors were
fighting.
in this town when you were wetting the bed. I know exactly how to get this job done, and I'm not about to let some wet behind the ears upstart come in and take my place. Why the hell would anyone follow you? Without me, the vagabonds would be directionless. Do you honestly think you have what it takes? You'd be a bloody nobody around here without me. Still floating around in your own piss.
Fight me, I dare you.
Everything you've done for us has been on my orders. You're a follower, not a leader. You need respect to be a leader. What have you done worth respecting?
To be fair, that supply train put a lot of food on people's tables. It was much appreciated.
Bollocks. Forget the train. It's hardly of great importance, is it?
Okay,
That's
send it
true,
to the
boss.
warehouse.
They put that warehouse out of action and looted the place.
Fine. Maybe you're not completely useless. So what?
Yeah, that boat's a wreck thanks to the Wayfarer.
And got a bunch of randoms killed in the process. Not exactly great for public image.
You know what?
Fuck me. Fine. Does no one see the bigger picture?
Nope, you're out. I'm in. Get fucked.
What a load of bollocks. I've given everything to this gang. And you think you can waltz in here like Prince Siegfried and start running things? Come on, lads. Are you really going to take their side over mine? Black's gotta go. Or this has all been for nothing.
Just because we've spent ages doing something, don't mean it's a good idea to keep doing it. What do you call that, Winston?
Sunk cost fallacy.
Do you really believe Black will honour the ceasefire?
Yes.
Why should he?
So he doesn't have to keep looking over his shoulder all the time. We're persistent bastards, but... No one's more persistent than you.
You can't do this to me. We're family.
It's for the best, Seb. Let's give peace a chance. Keep on hating them, just like Johnny said.
We'd be in good hands.
Getting
It's
ready.
not like you'd have to leave us. We'd make sure you were taken care of.
You too, Winston. I can't believe I'm fucking hearing this. You're a disgrace, the lot of you. The cowardice is unbelievable. I'd be ashamed to even call myself your leader. It's like you're all trying to outdo each other to see who can be the most gutless. But you needn't bother. The Wayfarer takes the grand prize. It all makes sense now. You've been working for Black all along, ain't you?
Nope.
Right from the start. You're going to pay for your treachery, and pay dearly.
Leave off it, Gorn. We found him in a test tube, for Christ's sake.
Stay out of this, all of you. This is between me and him. Right, outside. If you try to run, you cunt, I'll break your fucking legs and use your kneecaps as an ashtray.
It's a shame. I like Gaunt. Well, I used to like him. Not anymore. There's not a lot of people who do like me in this game. Or in Foxhole. Or in general, probably. But it's fine. Shotgun blast to the head. He'll get a message. If he doesn't, he's going to have one hell of a headache.
You're finished.
Okay. I didn't have my armor on. I'm an idiot. Serves me right. Yeah, I added it.
So he doesn't have to keep looking over his shoulder all the time. We're persistent.
Well, I'm not going to let you do that to me again, so...
Let's give peace a chance. Keep on hating them, just like Johnny said.
We'd be in good hands.
And it's not like you'd have to leave us. We'd make sure you were taken care of.
You too, Winston. I can't believe I'm fucking hearing this. You're a disgrace, the lot of you. The cowardice is unbelievable. I'd be ashamed to even call myself your leader. It's like you're all trying to outdo each other to see who can be the most gutless. But you needn't bother. The Wayfarer takes the grand prize. It all makes sense now. You've been working for Black all along, ain't you? Right from the start. You're going to pay for your treachery, and pay dearly.
Leave
Am I?
off it, Gorn. We found him in a test tube, for Christ's sake.
Stay out of this, all of you. This is between me and
I'm not going to let him come here again.
Family? Family don't stab you in the back. And you're no family of mine.
Gosh.
You walking fucking abortion. Right, outside. If you try to run, you couldn't.
Right, sure. You've asked to fight a chemhead. This is not going to go down well. Is it? No, it's not. Not at all. Rain and fever. Come on. Uranium fever. Alright, what other chems can I take to really fuck him up? Uranium fever. I'll work on it. That's what I call a death.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to that.
So I haven't got a choice.
Why did he do that?
Pride.
Some of the others won't be happy with Gaunt gone.
It might take time, but they'll accept the Wayfarer. Peace is alien to most of us, but I have a feeling we might like it.
Here's to our
Don't
new
fuck
leader.
with the Wayfarer.
New leader.
To peace and prosperity.
We'll take care of things here. Use Nelson's radio. Tell Black we accept his terms.
I really hope I don't kill him. I'll kill them.
Good luck out there, boss.
Ooh, that looks like a fun gun. Robots, nice. What did your hat do? Nothing, it's just... Okay. Well, I'm going to turn to Gaunt now. To the birds. Give me your foot. No, what? We're going to try and get you out the window. That's a little bit higher. There you go. Just add humiliation to the list. Don't fuck with a Wayfarer. No, why do we have to go to a fucking parking garage to have that fight? How the fuck do we get out? Why do we have to make these things so confusing to escape? Hey, Vis. How's it going, dude? You've caught me as I'm about to jump off. Yeah, good to hear that, dude. Good to hear you're doing good. Hopefully you've had a good week. Well, week so far, 'cause it's only Tuesday. Where's that gun I picked up? On that one, but I did forget I had that one. That's the one. Because that also has a bayonet. That's not as good. Just realised one thing. What's that, dude? What you realised? I don't know who that is. Who is that? I don't recognise that name. I'm bad with names, but I'm good with faces. Oh, yes, I've heard of him. Jesus, I've not heard of that name in ages. He's only 5 years older than me as well. Maybe I am him. I'm definitely not. A good neighbor. Yeah, I've not heard that name in forever. Oh, you dropped a nuke. Kaboom.
Speaking.
Ah, there you are. Me and old Nelson were wondering if we'd hear from you again. Gaunt is known to be volatile.
Very quiet.
I can't even believe it. After all these years, he's finally gone. I didn't think he'd choose death over retirement.
An honor.
I'm gonna wait a while before I return to the Swan and Mitre. Let things cool down. If I'm welcome back, that is. Oh. I see.
Don't worry, I'll give him work. I owe it to him on the count of his missing eyes.
Goodbye, Wayfarer.
Adios, Nelson.
Yes, goodbye, Wayfarer. Many thanks again. It's just good business at the end of the day. Remember that and you'll do well.
Way.
More bodies getting shite done never hurt anything.
I'll take that. Goodbye, Churchill. I think we've deserved an ice cold beveragino. However, I am going to call it there for the night because I have got some shit to do ready for tomorrow morning, unfortunately. So, thank you, folks, for hanging out, chilling out with me. I appreciate every single one of you. I will be back on tomorrow night playing Fallout. I know, sorry, dude. I am back tomorrow, though. See you later, Doodle. I'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully. Let's see who is playing Fallout 4. Yeah, Viz, I stay alive. I will stay alive, don't you worry. Viz, I tend to start around 6:30 PM GMT. Absolutely, mate, yeah. Send the name away. Grim Stalker 1. Take a look. yeah, you know what? We will go raid him. Good shout, Vis. We will go say hello to him. But yeah, I will be back on tomorrow around 6:30 p.m. GMT. Hopefully, I will see you all there. If you're not in my Discord and if you are new here, my Discord is there. Or not. There we go. Now it pops up. You'll always get a ping in there when I go live, and I will be making a schedule later on. So, but yeah. But for now, we will go say hello to Grimstalker, and I will catch you all later. Adios.